The 1971 Schwinn Manta Ray is all done and awaiting its trip to the bike shop later today to be put on display. A couple things I noticed while putting it together in the previous episode was that the derailleur guard was not put on correctly. That's correct by me. Now, it was flipped around the other way and sitting on the side of the derailleur, so it really wasn't going to protect anything. The bike fell, so whoever put that on before me did not do so correctly. But otherwise, everything came out pretty good. Pretty happy with the way the chrome turned out, considering how it looked when I first received the bike. But it's a new season and we've got a new project to start on. That's what's happening on this episode of Featherstone Bicycles. Project for season 14 is yet again another build-a-Schwinn, but unlike the previous build-a-Schwinn, I am going to put the bike together so I can take some before pictures. Through the magic of video, there it is. This is a 1972 Schwinn Continental. Everything you see here was pulled out of the Schwinn honey hole a few years back. If you don't know what that is, look in the playlist, in the bonus episode playlist, and you'll see Schwinn honey hole. Anyway, the frame was there with the crank, including the pedals, and the rear derailleur and the front derailleur. That was it. Everything else you see on here was a part I either pulled off another bike or found at the Schwinn honey hole in pieces. So I've got, just as a walk around here, the frame is in, the paint, I should say, is in not the greatest condition. There is some, rusty spots, which I usually avoid, but the decals are all there and the paint is in relatively good condition. It's not a total rust bucket. Trust me, I took to the junkyard, to the scrap metal, I should say, probably 10 vintage Schwinn frames, but they were just completely toasted as far as the paint goes, so of no use to me. The seat is the right kind of seat for this bike. But the interior framework of it, which I'll show you in a future episode, is mooey screwed up and is going to take some work. I had a heck of a time just getting the hardware on it so that I could film the before photos. The brakes are center pull, which was correct for the Continentals. According to the catalog, we did have 27-inch wheels with that kind of a hub that has those holes in it that are almost like rounded off half moons, and the quick release. The only free wheel, or I should say the only rear wheel that I had with 27-inch with the free wheel on it was one that did not have a quick release, but I'll show you I do have another quick release axle, so I'm going to take that apart and put that other quick release axle on there, or some kind of combination thereof. I do have chains, of course, from the Schwinn honey hole, which I will dig through and find the appropriate length and then do a massive amount of cleanup on. There's a bit of hardware missing here at the top, you know, the nut that holds it all together for the shifters, and then the cable housing stop for the front brake. So I'm gonna have to rob that off maybe that Speedster that I got a while back. And other than that, you know, I got the brakes, the shifters. I do have cables. These shifters have a special kind of cable end that they don't make anymore. And you either have to get a larger size and grind them down so that they fit in these slots right here. Or I have some cables from the Schwinn honey hole that, you know, are used, but old stock. I will at least be able to use one to get to the front derailleur. I don't know if I'll have one that'll go all the way to the rear. This is a smaller frame. I think it's a 22-inch. You know, I did a Schwinn Continental back, I think in season 3, that was for my friend's bike that he had originally from the 70s. And that was a larger bike. That was, I think they came in 22, 24, 26-inch frames. Again, measured from the center of the bottom bracket up to the top of the seat post. And that was, he's a taller guy, and that was definitely the larger frame. So this is a smaller frame. So possibly I do have a cable that goes all the way. But it was nice that the pedals were here, because those might have been hard to source. Just looking at rust here. I've already bought the tires, 27-inch gum walls with the tubes and the rim strips, so that's good. And trying to think what else. Oh, and I do have the cable housings. You know, used old stock, I should say. So we'll be using those as well. If I should have enough cable housings that fit this bike. If I don't, I may just go all new cable housings. But I'd like to keep it, you know, kind of piecemeal, build-a-Schwinn theme. And I've got it, I dare not breathe on it, because without the tires on it, that kickstand is not all the way down, or else the bike wouldn't stay stable. So it is resting very precariously. Anyway, that's the walk around. I'm going to take some before pictures, and then we'll get into taking it all back apart, and I'm going to explain a few other things. All right, well, let's get on it. Shouldn't be too hard, like I said. Take a little break here. I've got the frame down to, except for the fork, the condition that I found it in. But I did take a minute to write down here the things that we need, which are the cables, both for the brakes and the shifters, cable housings, center pull brake hardware. That's a little piece that clamps on to that center pull, and the cable locks onto that. I have those. Chain, head tube hardware, which is just that locking nut, and then the head badge, which you know from the Schwinn honey hole episode, I have a plethora of those. The other things I wanted to show you that I mentioned in the opening segment was this is the this is the quick release rear hub that I pulled out of the honey hole. It's in pretty rusty condition, but what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take the freewheel off that rear wheel and put it on this. Of course, take all the spokes off and clean them, you know, just like I normally do. So I do have the right quick release rear hub. And also, you remember from several seasons ago when I went to the swap meet nearby and found all of the handlebar tape for a ridiculously low price. It turns out I did have one full row of Sierra Brown, which is what the color of that 72 Collegiant is, and of course some chrome caps for that. So we are set there. Back to deconstruction. One last little bit before we wrap up. If you remember the Schwinn honey hole episode, or if you haven't and you watch it in the future, you'll know there were a couple tools that I pulled out of there that I didn't know what they were for. I brought them over to my buddy Mike at the local bike shop. Used to be a Schwinn dealer, and he enlightened me what was going on. So this is Park Tool BT3, and the BT stands for brake toe in. So when you have the caliper brake coming down like that, you can put this on here and use it to twist or turn this part that the brake pad seats onto and get that aligned to the rim. So that's what that tool is for. And then this little guy, which is a Schwinn approved red handle, probably made by Park Tool when Park Tool was just making tools for Schwinn. No idea what that was for. Mike enlightened me. You have your brake levers, and that little piece there, the clamp, gets out of round. This goes in there and gets it all nice and round again. That's why the reverse action on the spring. So, just a little history lesson there. So here's all our parts on the shelf, getting ready for the rejuvenation process. There's our rear wheel and front wheel, and there is the naked frame. That's going to do it for this episode. Thanks for sticking with me, and I hope to see you next time on Featherstone Bicycles.